You know, if you spend enough time scrolling through online stores, you find some really weird and wonderful things. It seems like for every modern problem we solve, we create a new, totally unexpected one. Well, today we're diving deep into a perfect example of that. A tiny, kind of brilliant solution born from the dream of working from literally anywhere.
We've all seen those pictures, right? The ones on Instagram with a laptop perfectly staged by the pool or on a beach. It's the ultimate promise of the modern world. Total freedom, where your office is wherever you want it to be. But what happens when that fantasy crashes into reality?
Yeah, anyone who's actually tried to work outside knows it's not that glamorous. The sun hits your screen and suddenly it's just a mirror. Your laptop starts making noises you've never heard before as it slowly cooks itself. And oh yeah, that person at the next table, they can see every single word of that confidential email you're writing. Suddenly the dream is kind of a nightmare.
So what does the internet, in its infinite wisdom, offer up as a solution to this very specific, very modern problem? Well, an equally specific product has popped up to save the day. And yes, you guessed it, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like.
So let me introduce you to the HoYiXi Universal Foldable Laptop Sunshade and Privacy Shield. You gotta love a name that just tells you everything. It's not a cover, it's not a case, it's a shield. It's like a little personal fortress for your computer.
Okay, so what exactly are we looking at here? Let's get the specs out of the way. It's made of nylon, fits most laptops between 13 and 16 inches. It weighs less than a pound, about the same as a can of soda, and they say it's waterproof. Okay, seems pretty simple.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's look at the official sales pitch. This is what the company claims this thing can do. This is the ideal, perfect vision for their product.
So according to them, this is your new good partner for working outdoor. It's going to get rid of that nasty glare, keep your laptop from overheating, and it's super easy to lug around. It even has pockets. I mean, it sounds like the perfect little package. But does it actually deliver on these promises?
So what happens when this thing actually gets into the hands of real people? Let's start with its main job, fighting the sun. To figure out if it really works, there's only one place to look: the customer reviews.
First up, we've got a fantastic 5-star review. El Mihan says it's stable even when it's windy and blocks the glare perfectly, even in direct sun. This is exactly what you want to hear, right? This is the product working as advertised. A total win. But then, you scroll down and find this 2-star review from Bridget Ming. She had the complete opposite experience, a horrible glare and a problem that is definitely not solved. So, hold on. We've got one product, but two totally different stories. What is going on here?
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to zoom out from these individual stories and look at the big picture. Let's dig into the numbers and see what all 84 reviewers have to say.
And when you look at the data, a story starts to emerge. The product has a really solid 4.4-star average rating. And look at that. A whopping 63% of buyers gave it 5 stars. So clearly the vast majority of people are happy. But there's that small group down at the bottom, the 1- and 2-star reviewers. It seems like for most people, this thing is a game changer. But for a few, it's a total flop. So why the huge difference? Well, you're not going to believe this, but Amazon's own AI-generated summary cuts right to the heart of the issue. It says it all right there. People agree it's great as a sunshade. The thing that divides everybody, the real point of contention, is what it calls the collapsibility.
That's right, we're calling it the collapsibility controversy. Because for a product that's all about being portable, being able to fold it back up is, well, it's kind of the whole point. And this last step is where things get really interesting, and for some, really, really frustrating.
On one side of the debate, you've got people like Dennis Porter. For him, it's no big deal. Folds up small and pops open. Simple, easy, does exactly what it's supposed to. No problem here.
But then you get Zorro's 3-star review. They say it's nice, it works, but it's a little difficult to close back up. And that one little but is everything. That's how a 5-star product gets knocked down to 3 stars. The main part works, but the overall experience is just clunky.
And this might be the most incredible review of all. It's a 5-star review from someone who says they love the product, but they are so confused by how to fold it that they are literally in the review section begging other customers to post a how-to video. Now that tells you everything, doesn't it? It's a product so good at its main job that people love it, even when they can't figure out how to put it away.
Okay, so after looking at the specs, the promises, and all those reviews, what's the big takeaway here? Is this thing just another goofy gadget you find online, or does it actually tell us something a little deeper?
You know, when you really think about it, this little nylon tent is more than just a laptop accessory. It's like a physical artifact of our modern work culture. It's proof that the office isn't a place anymore, it's just an idea. This is a product that literally could not have existed 10, maybe even 5 years ago. It perfectly captures both the dream and the tiny little annoyances of this whole work-from-anywhere world.
And that really just leaves us with one last question to chew on. This product was invented to solve a problem created by the work-from-anywhere dream. So as that dream keeps evolving and our offices become even more scattered and borderless, what's the next little everyday problem that's going to pop up? What's the next thing that will need its own, very specific little tent?